Hey guys, this is Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you have yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work at Connect on Epiphany Mind Explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please consider supporting my work. All the links are at the bottom of the description of this video. Um, Allycatcreations211.com is where you could view my art portfolio with pyramids, artwork, and all kinds of fun stuff. Make sure you go check that out. Holidays are approaching fast, and if you need a commission or you want something for a gift or supporting small business, um, it takes time. These don't take a day to make. These take a couple of days. So if you're interested in something for somebody special, please let me know. Email me and I can make something fantastical for you or somebody for the holidays. Hi, happy Sunday. Happy spiritual soul advice. Blessed everybody. Um, really rough physical day in a human life here. I am currently in a massive swelling of hives. My whole trunk and my back, I have hives. Haven't had this happen in a long time. So go ask myself, what the hell am I allergic to? It could be my progesterone. It could be food. It could be anything at this point. So it's just figuring out now how to get rid of it because it's annoying. Doesn't hurt. It's a little itchy, but I don't want it to get worse. And if it does, I have to get my butt over to the doctor for a prednisone because that's usually what works. And that would help me clear up this sinus infection that is lingering, doesn't want to go away. And I'm taking supplements. That takes time. So yeah, I took 2 Benadryl this morning and it's still there. And I passed out. Fun times. But I get to rest today, which was rather nice. Don't get too late and sleep. I had to force it because Benadryl will do that for me. Um, Crazy times. We are on the dawn of a paradigm shift to see what humanity has manifested for itself. I was listening to Brian Scott earlier, reading Daniel Scranton's Arcturian uh, channelings, and it doesn't shock me that I've been saying the same shit a little differently for a long time. I don't have to prove anything to myself that I know what I am. I would hope that you guys at home listening to me don't need proof of what you are in your fractals, but it's nice to get validation, and it's nice that you can actually let people hear it and then go back to you to say, look, I've been saying this. I'm not alone in my thoughts, so they can't be too far askew. It's just nice and validating to hear that especially the stuff about political nonsense. Like, we chose this. We chose the story. We chose the plan. We wrote the plan. We did all of this stuff, and it's according to what timeline we shift humanity in to the result that we're going to receive to see what catalyst is going to be jumped out at us to start moving forward. The Arcturians are on the same page as I am with divine neutrality and saying that all is just an experience for learning. So are we learning? What are we learning? I think for the last couple of years up to this moment, we've been through one election cycle that we saw a lot of injustice happen. And I don't care, once again, I don't care what side of the fence you're on. Okay. I don't care if you are a liberal, a Democrat, a Republican, a conservative, a libertarian. It doesn't effing matter. Because if you take your biases out of your party and objectively look at both sides, okay, there's still fuckery afoot. Um, I'm still very much on Facebook attached to a lot of Staten Island, New York pages. And someone posted earlier they went out to go do early voting. Again, they're not telling you their party affiliation or any of that stuff. And they said, my husband already voted, and how the fuck is that happening? Because they didn't vote. They were there to go vote. And that no one was there to help them. No one was there to navigate around. And that can happen to anybody. Right? If you're concerned about your party stealing an election or the other party trying to steal an election and vice versa, like wouldn't you want to know that regardless of what party you're voting for, no one knows what you vote for when you're in that ballot box. When you're going there and doing your thing, no one knows, right? I could say I'm a Trump lover and then I could vote Harris. Like this is I won't do that, but people should be concerned on both sides. That does a lot of fuckery afoot. And did we write this as an experience for us to see what is working, what is not working? And we see what is working. Now, what are we going to do to manifest the outcome and a better result? I don't know, to be honest. I'm not living in those paradigms. I'm not feeding the energies. The Arcturians, once again, was on it, saying, stop feeding the BS. Why are you directing your energy to that stuff? You're the one who dictates your reality. You gotta, like, it's all in the imagination, and I've been trying this. It's kind of difficult when you're an empath and you're absorbing everybody else's shit. That can also be the hives going on right now. But we're absorbing so much into our physical vehicles. It's hard sometimes to want to bring yourself to the frequency of elation, of overwhelming joy, and staying and holding that state of frequency to manifest the world that you want when everything is so bleh. And that is really where the challenge is. When more and more of us let go of the polarity of the political system and saying, okay, we wrote this, how do we transcend it? Sure, you can tell me all day long how messed up the system is. Absolutely. I'm not negating it, but I'm not feeding it either because it's feeding a narrative and a story that is being projected out in the movie theater in front of us. Moving up in density, I'm finding in my research and my knowings and my channelings, where you direct your energy is what is going to play out in your world. The harder component to that is adding humanity at play. Because humanity, even though you're at one stage and most of humanity is at another, you can't shift without everybody. Where we go one, we go all. It's a real term used in a movement, and we have to be patient. It's a state of mind, it's a state of existence. But in order for the full-fledged new earth, new paradigm, new dimensional space to actually manifest into the material world so that our higher frequency can experience it, We need a lot more people on board than maybe a couple of thousand of us doing it. Yes, we are changing the paradigm by just being and just doing these things for ourselves. But when more people do the work for themselves and let go of the polarity and the angst and the nervousness and the fear, oh my God, what happens if she wins? Um, we got to let that go. We dictate what our reality wants to throw at us. And yeah, I'm having a difficult time because I'm still waiting on to see if how many more applications do I need to start putting out. I didn't hear back from the one job yet that had the hours I need, and I don't want to jump to something that might not, or this is like a preferred part-time situation. So I'm going to give it like another few days. The same thing with going to the bank and figuring out a loan situation. I it just don't feel I need to feel when it's time for me to walk into an establishment and ask for a loan or look online and figure one out or talk to a financial advisor to figure out what's my best way. But at the moment in time, I'm just not feeling the energy to go and doing it. I don't think it's the right timing. So I have to figure out when that timing is. But with humanity, there is no direct right time. There is no time. Linear continuum situation there is, but here it's just illusion. So we need to figure out in the next couple of days how we want our life to play out within the fold of humanity. What is that going to look like? Are you going to be glued to the television and the podcast to figure it out? Are you just going to go deep within and be in a state of transition and alchemizing your negative energy to the positive? What is it that you are bringing to the table for yourself? And that's really where I want to focus my spiritual soul advice for today. Where do we want to focus our energy? I found a very good quote here by Neville Goddard. The world is a mirror, forever reflecting what you are doing within yourself. So your outside world is dictating to you the state of yourself. I know when I go out every day, I'm enjoying nature, I am smiling, I'm enjoying myself. I am not getting wrapped up into emotional states of this, that, and the other thing. I'm trying to be in a state of calm and putting my faith into the universe. Things are going to work out. I know we're all going through very difficult times financially. I am not alone in this. I know so many people that are, and we still have to play by the confines of 3D. I'm just choosing this time around to not feed the survivor mode. I want to get out of that. Here's another quote. I didn't put these up on Telegram just yet. Quantum physics tells us that nothing that is observed is unaffected by the observer. That statement from science holds an enormous and powerful insight. It means that everyone sees a different truth because everyone is creating what they see. I'm like speechless because we are creating what we see. There's that's the tie-in to the law of one that I was reading yesterday. It was hard for me to put into words that you're creating, you chose your archetype, you chose your story, And in physicality, in your unconscious, subconscious mind, you are creating your universe. You're creating your outside world. It's entangled to you as much as the entanglement is you. So energy flows where your intention goes. Where's your intentions lie? It's fanciful and lovely that everybody wants to ascend, but it's not fanciful when you don't know where to direct your energy to manifest that new world that you're all so much wanting. Instead of waiting for, and again, the Octurians say the same thing that I do, seriously, the same thing. If you're waiting for a reval on the money, or you're waiting for certain things to drop, why are you waiting on those things when you could do your manifestation now? You're holding up your own self, especially those of you that have amazing and just mind-blowing projects. Some people told me about what they want to do for humanitarian work if the money comes. Well, why are we waiting for the if? There are people out there that have passions for things that are just about similar to yours. Why aren't you finding them? Right? It's a matter of finding the people with the commonalities in what you want to bring forth for a project, and finding similar people that will help you and maybe join in with you and collaborate. Why are we waiting to manifest greatness for the world when it can happen without? If you give your faith, you pray to the universe, you have to put action into motion in order for that to be, I mean, you have to speak it, you have to think it. Why aren't you allowing to let it go and see what the universe does with it? We wishfully think these things, but yet we don't put action into it for it to be created. Create a vision board. Go and search for people. Why are we waiting? This is the hardest thing. Oh, well, after the election, everything is, everything has a divine timing and orchestration. Absolutely. I'm not saying it doesn't. But when it comes to waiting on your laurels, waiting for that white horse and that rider to come in to save the day, it's not happening. You have to save your own day. Like, I'm putting out applications for a part-time job. I'm waiting to see what happens if I don't get word right away, because I need it right away. I'm moving on to the next, into the next, until something happens. You got to give the universe some time to do its work, but also you have to see if it's not for you, keep pushing, moving forward. Just like the election, doesn't matter what the results are going to be. What are you doing to change your world right now? This is the hugest task that God, Creator, the all that is pushing and pressing upon us. Rewriting the story we wrote so that we jump to the story that we all are trying to create in the moment. It's a state of being. We can achieve it, but we need more people on that state. And I don't know what it's going to take to get people to snap out of duality listen, we still live in duality. You have to acknowledge it. I have to acknowledge the darkness within my light. That's not going away, but it's detaching emotionally from things that I can't control on a bigger scale of society, right? I can put my little shred of fractal influence there, but that might not change the paradigm. It might change my timeline. But as a whole to shift, we all need to do it together. So we have to start looking into the mirror and reflecting better things for us in that mirror. I'm going to repeat this quote again. The depth of your spiritual awakening is very much connected to the amount of darkness and pain you've gone through in your life. Most of the evolved souls endure a lot of suffering. They study the darkness so that they can become the light for others. Without any of us going through our experiences and walking through them with others, like I am doing, other people will not be able to have the motivation or the perseverance to heal. I'm going through it just like all of you. I am not exempt because I know what I am, or that the veil dropped for me at a young age in certain points of things in my life I needed to see or hear. That's what I wrote for myself. I don't have the foresight to know my future because that is unwritten. I wrote a timeline, and within those timelines, there's different intervals of things that can and cannot happen, depending on the state of frequency I'm sitting at. Are you raising your frequency? Are you clearing your energy? What are you doing for yourself? I'm going to say these things until I'm blue in the face. Because if anything, it's going to start connecting with people. And I know it's starting to with a lot of different types of people, because I continuously get more and more people understanding what I'm saying, not as an attack on others, but as oh, now I see what you're talking about. Yeah, I've been feeding my energy to that side I don't prefer. I am manifesting for these people that are doing heinous things. They are me. I have to accept that. They are source, playing source. And I am no longer going to feed them energy because I'm not going to create their reality. I need to create my own. And then those people are doing the work on themselves to create their own reality. We got to focus on humanity at this point. When you do the work on yourself, you're helping humanity. When you're doing the work and acknowledging yourself, you're helping humanity. When more and more people do the work, humanity will uplift. The clarity of choice will be there. Because when you model the behavior, when you're walking away, like it just like Yeshua walked a path. He was so against animal sacrifices, and that's what was happening back in his time. He's like, that's not the law. That's not God's law. Law of one. That is not the law. You sacrificing and doing all this nonsense, idolatrizing things, that is absolutely not God's law. So why are you doing it? Today, we're in a different time frame and a different structure. We've shifted paradigms, multiversals, because of different things that have occurred on this planet to save us. Is, you could call CERN all you want, but CERN really did help us. Unbeknownst to them, they put us in a failsafe. I do believe Ashtiana D when she speaks of these things. But God's law is very simple. There's not too many complications in understanding, loving yourself, giving compassion to others, forgiving, and doing the best and being the best as much as you possibly humanly can. You're here for experience. This is what a lot of learning teachings gets in confusion. You're supposed to be the devil in someone's story. You're supposed to be a catalyst for multiple people, and they might view you as evil. But in fact, that's what you wrote, for them to wake the F up. So to be godly and righteousness is just doing and playing out the story that you assigned yourself with. Because that's still God having an experience, collecting these experiences to know itself more. it's not a hard concept to grasp. It's integrating it, applying it, walking it. I see some people starting to post some Dolores Cannon stuff. It's like, if you really believe in the words that she's projecting, then why are you being a hypocrite in what you are delivering to others? It's okay to be a hypocrite and unconscious to that you're not applying lessons, learnings into your heart space. A lot of people do it unknowingly. They read something, they actually feel it for a little bit, but they're not applying it to their totality of life. If all is illusion, then what does it matter? Who wins? If it's all an illusion, it's all just for experience. Why are you taking everything so personal? Why are you stressed out? I say this to myself all the time, and yet here we are in a material body living in existence that you still have to provide and do for yourself. It's a difficult concept to grasp when you're thinking just surface level. I'm going to read a little something for you guys because holy shit, just Spirit told me to turn to the page, any page, and wow. As from the direct light of the sun to the borrowed reflected light of the moon, so do we pass from the immediate representation of perception, which stands by itself and is its own warrant to reflection, to the abstract, discursive concepts of reason, which have their whole content only for the knowledge of perception and in relation to it. As long as our attitude is one of pure perception, all is clear, firm, and certain, for there are neither questions nor doubts nor errors. We do not wish to go further. We cannot go farther. We have rest in perceiving and satisfaction in the present moment. Perception by itself is enough. Therefore, what has sprung purely from it and has remained true to it, like the genuine work of art, can never be false, nor can be refuted through any passing of time, for it gives us not opinion, but the thing itself. With abstract knowledge, with the faculty of reason, doubt and error have appeared in the theoretical care and remorse in the practical. If in the representation of perception, illusion does at moments distort reality, then in the representation of the abstract error can reign for thousands of years, impose its iron yoke on a whole nation, stifle the noblest impulses of mankind. Through its slaves and dupes, it can enchain even the man it cannot deceive. It is the enemy against which the wisest minds of all times have kept up an unequal struggle, and only what these have won from it has become the property of mankind. Therefore, it is a good thing to draw attention to it at once, since we are now trending the ground where its providence lies. Although it has often been said that we ought to pursue truth, even when no use for it can be seen, since its use may be indirect and appear when not expected. I must add here that we should be just as anxious to discover and eradicate every error, even when no harm from it can be seen, because this harm may be very indirect and appear one day when not expected. For every error carries a poison within itself. If it is the mind, if it is knowledge that makes man lord of the earth, then no errors are harmless, still less venerable and holy. And for the consolidation of those who devote their strength in life in any way or concern to the noble and difficult struggle against error, I cannot refrain from adding here that so long as truth does not exist, error can play its game just as owls and bats do at night into the east. Then any truth that is known and expressed clearly and fully will again be supplanted, so that the old error may once more occupy its extensive position undisturbed. But when victory for it once gained, it can never be wrested away again. Profound. But is there real error? This was written a very, 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 very long time ago. And it's a very good existential thinking. He's right, though. There's no perception that is wrong because your perception from your two eyes is what you see. That's the truth. At the frequency, truth is a frequency. So you seeing what's on your outside world is your truth. Your feelings, your emotions, that is your truth. Now we're all one. What is real truth? If we put it there in the first place, is it actually truth? Or is it something outside of yourself that you allowed truth to perceive through you? Still truth. You have to raise your frequency in order to see a bigger picture, and that picture keeps expanding as your frequency expands. There's no limit to how far truth is expanded. It's infinite. It's just the levels and layers of things that you need to see in order to change your perception, your belief. As we're on the dawn of a new era, what are we eradicating from the errors that have been made? Are they really errors, or are they just lessons from us to learn from? To know that that's not what we prefer, and that's not the preference for the new paradigm. Once again, people are wrapped up in entities and beings as being saviors, as being the pinnacle. Oh, well, that person and this person, it's obsession, borderline at best, that I keep hearing. Certain names, certain concepts, but none are preaching the law of one. Aaron Abke talks about this. Once you know that all is source and all is God, and you know that truth to be in it to win a chicken dinner, you apply it to your own self, then how can you hate your other selves? Even if they're murderers and pedophiles and do things that you don't agree with. Still expressions of you playing itself out. How can you hate it? You don't need to agree with it. Shouldn't hate it. You got to love it unconditionally and send it love and healing and forgiveness. Where everything has a reason for occurring in the natural world. Why is it thus occurring? Oh, because the negative polarity placed it there. Well, why was it placed there? What are they testing you on? They're the catalysts. What are they presenting to you that you don't prefer? Where in the illusion are you feeding your energy to? If it's all illusion, then why are you taking it personally and getting so worked up over one thing or another? These are the harder truths and perceptions that a lot of people can't yet grasp. But more and more, Brian Scott and some of the other channels that do good work are literally saying the same things that I've been saying, and it's refreshing to hear it in different wording, maybe different frequency, but at the crux of it all, we're all saying the same thing. We're all God. All that is, whatever you want to ascribe a label to. That's the hardest component to really grasp. They took your power away. We had our power taken away from us because we chose that. The point in the test is to learn how to gain your power back and take it back and stand in your empowerment. It's not coming from an egotistical standpoint to make a claim that you know what you are. You're reclaiming back your power. You're taking it back from that other side you gave it to. The sad portion about it is our Constitution was written in such a way that when people were actually trying to do their due diligence, the opposite side, the opposite polarity, were saying, well, no, you did this and it's really, really bad. But yet, all of us sat here and did what? The last 7 to 10 years, we sat and did what? We know treason has taken place in multiple levels on multiple planes of existence in the American political system, and yet nothing yet has taken place to stop it. Doesn't matter what side. Treason was committed a very long time ago, and it continuously continues. And yet it continues because we're complacent with it. But I'm one person. I've wrote many, many politicians in my time, especially after being afflicted with shit that was unconstitutional. I lost everything. And even before that, it wasn't really that political, but when things really bothered me, I wrote to people. I tried making a difference. I put my energy out there where I could. We are now enabling the system to do us wrong. Now we have an opportunity to change the paradigm by thinking differently, changing your mindset, putting action into motion to have a cause and effect. It's not just about going to the voting box to vote. It's what we're going to do after the result happens, and we're seeing multiple people, stories, pictures, proof, physical proof that things are at fuckeries at foot. No matter who wins. This is not a fair election if so many people are now coming out and saying, well, when they're voting, it won't allow me to click on this one opponent. Someone already voted for me. I don't know how that can even happen. I didn't vote. I mean, my dead parents voted the last election. I don't know how, and it doesn't matter for whom. It's the point they're not here. They're deceased. How can my mother, who's been dead, my father for almost 20 years, vote? They're not alive. Why are you telling me that they're voted? It's BS. I don't care who, it doesn't matter if it's for the politician I wanted that they voted for. It doesn't matter. It's null and void. It doesn't matter because they're not here. Their vote should not count. Energetically, they're here, but physicality, they're not. So their vote should not count. I don't care in what direction it went to. Until our system is actually legitimate, you're going to keep getting the same results. And that's because the paradigm needs to shift where it's not the rich people who are the only ones that can make an argument against something and have millions of dollars for a lawyer and, that kind of stuff. That's another part of the system that needs to collapse. Anybody should be able to take a stand and it shouldn't cost a thing besides our collective energy of time. More and more people that are super and highly intelligent just don't have the money to bring people to fight for them with them alongside them. It's an insane world. We wrote it. We have to simplify it, give things less meaning. So the millions of ways you can say the word love should only be defined from your heart. And that millions of words that describe one word, that feeling that you can emote 1,000,005 adjectives and verbs and pronouns and nouns and all those beautiful things in grammar that you can subscribe to a word, you're going to simplify it to a few. We still live in a third dimensional space with higher ended frequency of mind. And in some way, we need to bridge this gap so that harmony can be on the same level and not come like a curved bell chart. That's a crazy aspect of this world. Bananas. The thing in itself is mentioned in this little paragraph here. And once again, that Law of One episode I did the other day, it was extremely hard to not just read off of what Ross said because, yeah, I have to put it in my own words, but this might clarify some things. Quote, meanwhile, for the present, in this first book, we are considering everything merely as representation, as object for the subject. And our own body, which is the starting point for each of us in the perception of the world, we consider, like all other real objects, merely from the side of knowableness. And accordingly, it is for us only a representation. Now the consciousness of everyone, which is already opposed to the explanation of other objects as mere representations, is in every greater opposition when his body is said to be mere representation. Thus it happens that to every one, the thing in itself is known immediately insofar as it appears as his own body, and only immediately in so far as it is objectified in the other objects of perception. But the course of our investigation renders necessary this abstraction, this one-sided method of consideration, this forcible separation of two things that essentially exist together. Therefore, this reluctance must for the time being be suppressed and set at rest by the expectation that the following considerations will make up for the one-sidedness of this one towards a complete knowledge of the nature of the world. Wrap your head around that. This book took me a long time to read and actually understand it. This changed my life. This book right here changed my life because I was in a state of depression, suppression, collapse. And when I read logical stuff, philosophy, it makes my brain think deeper and wanting to grasp more. And that motivates me to want to not be so depressed so that I can actually focus on the things that I want. But that initially is saying we need to look to the natural world and observe its frequency. The animal is going to do the animal. It has consciousness, but it's going to do and act instinctively of what an animal would do. There's no remorse in the animal, for its instinct is to kill, to eat, to live. To be. Its instinct is to provide for its family, to multiply, to live out its life and keep itself safe. We have higher consciousness from an animal, even though we are considered animals. It's getting out of the animalistic mind and achieving the at-one-ment that we started and originally all came from. That's what we're striving towards. You're at-one-ment with whatever you want to label it as. You can label it as whatever you would like. You're still going back into an at-one-ment with something, whether it be protons, photons, gluons, quarks, the quantum states. You can go back to that. It's all God. That's what you're going back to. So when we are looking into the deeper in-depthness of what's happening in our paradigm right now, we're 2 days out from an election that will change and shift the course of where our timelines are going. This is where the work begins on self. Because I bet you a lot of people are not going to be happy with the results, either side. There's a lot going on to test us. And the tests are going to just continuously get harder and harder until you get out of your own way to see the bigger truth and the bigger picture. You create your own distortions by picking a side over another and not loving the other side for what they know not. For wanting everybody to be awake, but that truth is not everybody's going to be awoken. It's not their time. And it's not you to say when it's their time. The lack mentality, well, what about my family? And what about my dog? And what about my this? And what about my that? You're too attached to the world as material. Energy does not die, it transforms. All my animals are going to be with me regardless. I'm already up there in spirit with Morgan and Ethan and my parents, and I'm living out different densities of experience, and I'm already there in the other realms, flying, being my light body, having fun, exploring. And we have the unique ability and power to actually tap into that imaginatory brain that we all have, that quantum computer in our heads, and sit and imagine a better life for yourself. What do you want? How are you imagining it into reality that everybody around you can benefit from? Remember, being a service to yourself is being a service to others. You need to include others in your imagination. You have to include the totality of humanity when you're thinking about yourself? What do you want for yourself that everybody else can enjoy? If that's peace and prosperity on this planet, let's go. What are we waiting for? Why are we not making that into a reality now? Some of us are already living in that peace and calmness and harmoniousness. I know I'm stressing out in the 3D level of life. Thankful I already have the gray hair. But this time I'm coming at it in a calmer approach. I'm not doing stupid shit. I am not losing sleep that a job hasn't called me yet to tell me if I have a job or not. Right? I waited and I was patient because the universe put me in a place that I needed to be, and I had to wait for the perfect timing. Did it help me financially? No. But I have angels in human form stepping up and helping me. You know, is it enough? Nothing is ever enough. But I am so thankful, with so much gratitude and love in my heart for those who do take the time to help me. It's a beautiful thing. I know when I'm the one that gives my aid and my help to others, I know that they appreciate it. I can feel it. It's beautiful. If we could all do that for each other in different aspects, in different ways, it's slowly growing. I know many of you could see it too. It's slowly, a lot of people, it's dawning on them, and it's just getting out of the routine of the old and building a new routine, building a new energy. And that takes time, linearly speaking. Perceptions are changing because the world views are changing, because our paradigm is shifting. You're getting rid of the things that you no longer need. The harder aspect to this is not knowing what is to come and putting your faith into the invisibleness of the infinitude, that all will work out fine. But in some realities, not everything does work out to its highest and best, because you need to be challenged more. And so when people tell me all the time, oh, you'll be fine, and this is, but it's not. Let's just be realistic. That happens too, believe it or not. Ruins. Tiwaz, Divinity's Son. A key theme for this rune is a sort of passionate leadership that takes into consideration the greater good. It may suggest the need for self-sacrifice, but if you can find the strength and self-discipline to work for the benefit of all, rather than just yourself, you will reap rich rewards and the respect of others. Victory is indicated here, but only if you proceed with personal honesty and consideration for others. You need to be proactive, not reactive, now, and find the courage within to take whatever action is needed to achieve your goals. Don't take action for the sake of taking action, though, as this card is also a warning against rashness. Be cautious and open your mind to the opinions of others. Weigh up the pros and cons, know where your strengths lie, and then move forward with justified confidence in your ability to be a committed and successful leader. Why I was told to pull from this one deck was for this very reason. When we're trying to manifest reality and what we want and what we prefer, not just for ourselves, but for humanity. Look at this card. They're going through the upward climb. It ain't easy because there's a storm, there's snow, it's cold, it's stormy out there. We're going through a storm right now in our outside chaotic world. Shit's breaking apart for us to see it in a greater totality. It's up to us to take hold of the reins on that bike, create a link, and help each other up that mountain to see the bigger, greater viewpoint. See, spirit, they I know a lot of people have been telling me about what's going on behind me. I think next Friday when I do my live, let's hope I have one. We'll see. I'm going to bring some of my paranormal equipment that I have, and we'll see what we can get answers from some of them. We'll see. But that card alone, right there, is explaining we need to be our own leader, but we need to be a leader for humanity as well. How are you speaking your truth into reality? How are you being the beacon of light? How are you modeling this behavior for other people? I know many of you are starting to do that. Some of you are still on working your journey out. But we need to be the leaders of our own lives, and that will, in fact, get humanity on board. And we need to do this now more than ever, especially with the current climate that's happening. And it's a hurricane, tornado, blizzard all in one, all on top of us. And we need to persevere through this, regardless of the results. Who's ever behind me, they rock. 1, I have abolished duality from myself. I have seen the two worlds as one. One I seek, one I know, one I see, and one I call. Rumi. How intense is that? You look for me, and what do you see? You. Am I playing games with you? Holding up a mirror for you to behold God? Yes. There are games of love and truth. Look for me and find yourself. For I am you and you are me. And together we are one, playing hide and seek in love's great playground. Like molten gold poured from the furnace of divine love into a one-of-a-kind mold. You are created uniquely and of divine essence. You are both the lover and the beloved. There is no aspect of your life separate from your spiritual journey, and there is no aspect of you that is not of divine origin. So then, why the frowning, the fear, or the questioning? Let me share a sublime secret with you. Let me whisper into your heart. Now, there is nothing to fear. All is unfolding according to the divine genius, and there is a sweet shift in store for you. No matter how dire circumstances may appear to be, or despairing you may feel, there is still an avenue through which fulfillment and resolution will be granted. This will happen. That is because the divine seeks wholeness of the one. That means anything in every part of existence, and that includes you in all aspects of your being and life, is claimed by the divine. Your return to the divine is demanded, every part of you, every life circumstance. The divine keeps rigorous, flawless accounts. Therefore, nothing shall be left unaccounted for, not even that which seems to be outside divine attention and grace at this moment. This oracle comes to you with particular guidance. There is a friction or conflict within you or your life right now. A sense perhaps of being pulled in more than one direction and confusion because of this. You're questioning which path to take, this way or that. What if you choose this path and it turns out the other would have been better? But how can you know now what choice, if any, is most needed in your life? So many questions. Your mind is scurrying. There is no other word for it. Backwards and forwards it goes, to and fro, trying to settle upon the truth. I love you too much to allow this to continue unchecked. Surrender it, give it up. The truth you seek is this: you shall be. You shall manifest your destiny just as the acorn grows into the oak tree. You cannot be other than what you are. And as you accept this, life responds. It breathes and relaxes around you. So what you need to come come to you more easily. It finds you drawn to the need in you that is natural and inviting, and not a cause for anxiety or distress. The need leads to satiety. What is desired, what fulfills a desire, is one. If there is any part of you struggling to surrender the conflict between old and new, between what has been and what needs to be, between passion and duty, creativity and rationality, between this role or identity, then know this: end the conflict serves. Don't choose either one and believe it is the answer. Sometimes the sacrifice is not one or the other, but the idea that it can be only one or the other. At another level, a level of divine resolution, there is beyond the apparent polarity and conflict a third way, the rising up to where there is only one perfection taking place constantly. Open your heart, you'll find the bridge to understanding and trusting in the perfection there, where it has always been and will always be. Don't worry, all is happening exactly how it should be. This oracle brings you particular guidance. There is a resolution and a perfect coming together of elements in your life that might have seemed desperate or in conflict. Something you have been trying to integrate is so very nearly ready to click into place. Perform the sacred honoring ritual and say with your process, the coherence, the integration, the balance and coming together you seek is on your horizon, approaching you swiftly now. So this is not only for myself that I needed to read that. That's like saying, hi, we're all one, and all is supposed to be according to how it's supposed to be. As I was supposed to move and go through all those tough situations for more growth and learning and experience. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here on my journey the way it has unfolded. There is no wrongs in the universe. So when we can let this go and understand whatever we wrote in for our divine purpose counterpart of the outside world playing and clicking or not clicking, all is supposed to be according to God's plan. So we need to trust it. And for the politicalness, that's very hard to do for some people. Take that advice and apply it in the political aspect. There's my boy. There's my boy. Here's Odin, co-host number one, no, well, number 3. He wants to jump. He likes to jump. I don't like jumping cats. I love him to death. I love him. But his jumping, not in my house. Oh, I'll be right back, guys. Let me pause. The next card, Passion for Purpose. Love like life flows through the heart. Feel the thrill of the flow and say nothing. Rumi. Do you yearn to find your way, to fulfill your divine destiny, to know the purpose of your presence within this sacred body of the Mother Earth? Your heart is questing for a deeper meaning. It desires certainty as your sacred tasks for this lifetime. Your heart wants to know why you were born. For what purpose? You must know that the answer to this question is love. I bring you your answer straight from the heart of the universe. Be wild within your passion. Do that which stirs your soul. Excuse you, Mr. Odin. Off my keyboard. He likes to go look out the window, which is right behind my computer. As you can see, his little tail dangling. Do that which stirs your soul, even when it makes you uncomfortable, especially then. For what is being truly alive, if not a decision to be open instead of resistant, to be wild rather than comfortable, so that at any moment we will be ready for the invitation of the divine beloved to come closer. I call to you now that is beyond your mind, that the heart knows, that cannot deny life. To that I ask the question, what stirs the passion of your nature? Do that, be that. As we grow on the spiritual path, so does our ability to serve life, to serve love, to honor humanity, and to offer a contribution that is unique to us, that can only flow in this particular way through the quality of our own soul light. Every light holds its own beauty, and every light has a particular task to fulfill on the divine path of life. To help us remember this, lest we get too easily distracted by the pain and stress that happens in life, we were given an inbuilt reminder. That reminder is our passion. We may think that passion is not particularly practical. We may feel fearful that with passion there is no guarantees of success, or that we may be throwing away a stable and secure life to pursue our passion. These are the fears of many a modern society, yet they are so misplaced. Life supports all beings based on their true nature. The birds given air in which to fly, fish given water in which to swim. Plants are given light of the open plains or darkness of the damp rainforest, depending on their needs for growth. Different flowers flourish in different environments. Bees have wings that are very small but powerful enough to move with such speed and rotation that their heavy bodies can fly. Each aspect of creation is given what it requires, so it may become what it is meant to be, for its unique destiny to be fulfilled. So it is with humanity. Each one of us has something in our hearts that means something to us. It is irrelevant whether it seems practical or a recipe for success or not. We are simply meant to be what we are, to serve life faithfully from a place of honoring the truth of our nature, that which we genuinely feel passionate about, and to allow for life to naturally support growth according to our genuine nature. Where we get into difficulty is not bringing our genuine passions to life, for life supports this, but in learning to let go of attachment as to how that happens. We can struggle to free ourselves of the expectation we have to be something we are not. The divine path of love asks us to become conscious of and then unlearn the play acting of attempting to be a false self so that we may learn to simply love and accept our real self. We may even have a struggle on our hands to remember who our real self actually is for a time. Fortunately, there is pleasure in the journey of returning to passion that can make the process of self-discovery a sweet one. This oracle comes to you with a guidance. You are being initiated more deeply into your life purpose. Your passion will reveal itself to you with more depth, nuance, and beauty than ever before. If parts of your life are dissembling or do not seem to be working out as you have planned, these are symptoms of this passion revelation. Be curious and open to what presents itself in the wake of the falling away. Be ready for the journey within now. You are strong enough to leave behind the need for external validation while you learn to validate yourself. In time, soon enough, in fact, you shall reveal your innermost beauty and be witness and receive acknowledgement for your inner value, purpose, and divinity. But for now, sweet beloved, dive deep. Be defiant and determined to honor your heart, so your deep passion may be witnessed by you and eventually naturally make its way into the sacred expression in the world. If you have recently discovered a new talent or purpose, or have been dreaming some big dreams, this oracle comes to you with guidance and confirmation. You are excited. Follow that excitement. Let it lead you into your own heart truth and onto an ever more passionate path of purposeful living. The Rumi deck is fantastic. Love it. And that is absolute essence of truth right there. We're being asked right now to step into our spiritual purpose, but you have to clear and do work on yourself to know what that is for you. I love doing my work. I'm passionate about it. I love reading. I'm passionate about it. I'm merging my world together and putting it here because I love what I do. I'm motivated by it. Find what motivates you. What is it that you want to do? How are you going to heal your life? Right? I'm working each and every day in hopes that this can make me successful or help be a bridge for me to find other avenues to success. And it doesn't mean I need fame or fortune. It just means getting the word out there and sustaining a very simplistic life. Well, one where I don't have to complain, worry about when my next meal is going to happen or what I can't afford to go to the doctor. What am I going to do? I'm holistically trying to deal with my issues right now. And yeah, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I've been pausing a lot because I'm itchy and I'm checking my hives. And if they're growing, because then that means I need another Benadryl. So yeah, crazy times in this world. So the next few weeks, who knows what's going to happen? I'm not worried about it. I don't think you guys should be either. It's interesting. It captivates us. It distracts us for sure. It divides us. All serves a purpose. Analyze it, explore it, ask the wise, but with no judgment or attachment to an outcome. Sensitivity. The frequency of sensitivity helps us open to the world of subtlety and detail when anchoring in a structural foundation, thus supporting us to become more fully multidimensional. I know, I have glare everywhere here. Intuition. The energy of intuition supports our ability to conceive the subtle language of the realms beyond the three-dimensional reality. It's up to us to create the reality that we want. These cards are supporting that. These cards are telling us to let go. I know I've been doing that more and more each day. I'm just letting go, but you got to put the work in. So looking at jobs for me is what I've been doing. Looking at different situationals. This is what I've been doing. It's not like I'm sitting idly by waiting for spirit to whisper in my ear, oh, go look at that job. I'm doing the work. I'm transmuting energy. Because if I don't do that, nothing's going to transpire. And regardless, we have to wake up and live our everyday lives, no matter who wins an election. We can only hope to manifest change in an outcome, but taking all into perspective, which is not an easy thing to do when you're really biased to one side and one side only, and not seeing the other side for what their side is. And that's just talking normal, commonary, generalized people. This is not talking about extremes. I'm going to end with this card. I can't show it. I pulled this for the collective a few times already, but sometimes we need it again. Vulva of Sadir. Your inner spiritual power can heal circumstances in your life and our world in ways greater than you realize. Journey within to gain clarity and conscious redirection of your inner energies toward what you wish to manifest. Don't try to control what is happening. Instead, work to bring positive influence to bear so that you may contribute constructively toward shaping the outcome for the greater good. Even if our intentions are pure, believing we know what should happen to whom and when is the working of the ego and not the soul. We may want the best for all beings, but we cannot know why their path is unfolding as if it is or what their soul needs to learn. Once again, I say that all the time. Sadir is practice of shadows and spellcasting, binding, and release, which could be used for higher purpose or personal gain. It dwells upon the borders of morality. The spiritual maturity of the practitioner will determine whether its effects are for good or for ill. The oracle advises us that good intentions are not enough to ensure the outcome of our efforts is beneficial. We need the wisdom that comes through surrendering into divine intelligence. With an awakened heart, it is possible to be a clear channel for spiritual light in this world, dedicating our soul talents to overcoming hate and divisiveness. The art of Sadir is one of collective dreaming and doing it. It is the ability to move in darkness, to become wise to our own potential, to become manipulative, controlling, and therefore negative, and to outsmart that by consciously choosing to bring love, freedom, spiritedness, and passion, the hallmarks of our preceding sorceress Freya, into our lives. The message of this oracle is that you are able to bring a positive influence into whatever situation or circumstances unfold in your life. Dedicate yourself to goodness, believe in the power to effect positive change. What's ever going on behind me and upstairs, higher selves is bringing it and telling you we need to make this collectively happen now, now, now. And I know we could do it. We'll seek for a better life, a better world for all, not just some. And I think we can all achieve that once we put it into action and achieve it by imagining it and walking it and putting it out in the field. We can manifest. So let's start doing that for not only yourself, but for humanity. It's a very important time, and we have the skills, the will of intention, the will to power to do such awesomeness. So take the next couple of days, and instead of letting everything from the outside world get to you, let's project out positivity, love, and a better future for all. Sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Please go within, be the shoulder, be the lighthouse, seed your truths, be the love, be the light, be the beam, be the ray, be the amazing person that you can be each and every day. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you everybody for supporting my work. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.